Like the Army recruiting poster, one of your goals is to be all you can be. The market only pays excellent rewards for excellent performance. It pays average rewards for average performance and below average rewards, underachievement, failure, and frustration for below average results. In our economic system, your income will be determined by three factors. First, what you do. Second, how well you do it. And third, the difficulty of replacing you. One of the qualities of top people is that at a certain point in their careers, they decided to commit to excellence. They decided to be the best at what they do. They decided to pay any price, make any sacrifice, and invest any amount of time necessary to become very, very good in their chosen fields. And as a result of this decision, they pulled away from the pack of average performers and moved themselves upwards into the income category where today they earn 3, 4, 5, and 10 times as much as their peers. When I started my sales career many years ago, someone told me about the 80-20 rule as it applied to sales. He said that 20% of the salespeople made 80% of the money. Well, this means that 80% of the salespeople only make 20% of the money, and they have to divide it amongst themselves. At that point, many years ago, I decided that I would prefer to be a member of the top 20% rather than the bottom 80%. This decision changed my life forever. Because I had come from a difficult childhood and received below-average grades in school, I grew up with a poor self-image and a low level of self-confidence. It never occurred to me that I could be good at anything. If ever I attempted something and did it well, I immediately dismissed it as an accident or a lucky break. For years, I saw myself as an average or below-average performer in any job I worked at. Then one day, I had a sudden flash of insight. I realized that everybody who was in the top 10% of their field started in the bottom 10%. Everybody who was doing well today was once doing poorly. Everybody who was at the front of the buffet line of life started at the back of the line. And, even more importantly, it dawned on me that whatever others have done within reason, I could do as well. And this turns out to be true for just about everyone. No one is better than you, and no one is smarter than you. People are just better or smarter in different areas. In addition, all business skills are learnable. People who are doing better in some area of business have learned the essential skills in combination with other skills before you have. If you're not achieving what others are achieving, it simply means that you have just not learned those skills yet. Here was another breakthrough for me. You can learn anything you need to learn to achieve any goal you can set for yourself. There are no limits on what you can accomplish except for the limits that you place on your own mind and imagination. If you decide to become excellent, to join the top 10% of people in your field, there's nothing on earth that can stop you from getting there except yourself. Will it be easy? Of course not. I don't use the word easy in this program. Everything worthwhile takes a long time and a lot of work to accomplish. But it is possible if you want it badly enough and if you're willing to work long enough. And it's worth every bit of the effort once you get there. Les Brown, the motivational speaker, says, to achieve something that you've never achieved before, you must become someone that you've never been before. Wolfgang von Goethe, the German philosopher, said, to have more, you must first be more. Once you decide to become one of the best people in your field, the only question you ask is, how do I achieve it? The very fact that hundreds of thousands and even millions of people have gone from the bottom to the top in every field is ample proof that you can do it as well. Many of these people, if not most of them, may not even have the natural talents and abilities that you have. In most areas of life, it's more hard work and dedication than natural ability and talent that leads to excellence and great success. In an analysis of the members of the Forbes 400, the 400 richest men and women in America, conducted a couple of years ago, they found that a person who dropped out of high school and who made it into the Forbes 400 was worth, on average, $333 million more than those who had completed college or university. The reason I mention this is because many people feel that if they didn't get good grades in school, they are permanently limited in what they can accomplish later on in life. Nothing could be further from the truth. Some of the wealthiest, most successful men and women in America and throughout the world did poorly in school. Remember the question, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer was, one bite at a time. This is the same way that you become absolutely excellent at what you do. You move to the top one step, one skill, one small improvement at a time. The fact is that your current level of knowledge and skill is becoming obsolete at a faster rate today than ever before. I mentioned earlier that your earning ability can be an appreciating or a depreciating asset, depending upon whether or not you are upgrading it or simply allowing it to become obsolete. This is a choice you are making or failing to make every day. The good news is that when you start to aggressively upgrade your knowledge and skills on the road to becoming one of the best people in your field, it will be as if you are in a race and you are the only one who is really running. You very soon move ahead of the pack and into the lead position. Meanwhile, most of your competitors are simply strolling along, doing just what they need to do to keep their jobs. The idea of committing to excellence has never even occurred to them as it has to you. You begin your journey to excellence by asking the question, what additional knowledge, skills, and information will I need to lead my field in the months and years ahead? Project yourself forward 3 to 5 years and imagine that you are already one of the best, highest paid people in your industry. What would have to have happened? What would you have to have done, learned, or accomplished to reach this point? What skills would you have had to master to lead your field? Once upon a time, I had a good friend who was a lawyer in a small firm. His father had been a lawyer, so he had taken law when he went to university. When he got out of school in his early 20s, he began practicing law amongst his friends and associates. But he soon decided that law was not for him. He decided to make a career in business instead. By this time, he was about 26 years old. In the face of considerable opposition, as you can imagine, he gathered all his resources and concentrated single-mindedly in getting into Harvard to attend their MBA program. It took him 2 years, but he finally achieved it. It then took him 2 more years to complete the required courses and graduate with the coveted Harvard MBA. He returned to his home city and interviewed for various jobs, finally taking an entry-level management position at a rapidly growing airline. It turned out to be a perfect career move. Within 10 years, he was the president of the airline and earning 10 times as much as any of the lawyers that he had graduated with some years before. He became one of the youngest and most respected executives in charge of a major company in the country. It's estimated that the average person starting work today will have 14 full-time jobs lasting 2 years or more and 4 or 5 full-time careers in completely different businesses or industries. Fully 40 million Americans will be contingency workers for most of their careers. They will never work long-term for a single company, but will instead move from company to company doing professional or technical jobs. It's almost inevitable that your career will change continually as you grow and mature. You must be constantly looking down the road and thinking about the skills and competencies you will need to earn the kind of money you want to earn in the years ahead.